Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. It's Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for the weekly SmackDown Event Center report. And now here's the man that will bring you the happenings on WWE SmackDown every Friday night, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans in 1977, episode number 2,600. That's why we're 2,600 episodes. Very, very proud of this accomplishment, and hopefully we get 400 more episodes to go to reach 3,000 episodes, but that's going to be a long way until then. And, you know, if I keep on crapping out episodes like 5 per day or something like that, I may end up getting, and that would be 80 days and worth, but I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens. You know, trying to reach 500 subscribers and 3,000 episodes is probably a tough task to do, especially if it's like, you know, we got 2 months left of the year. But I digress. Now, before we get started on the SmackDown Event Center report, and also this is finally SmackDown before Crown Jewel. That's tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. I'm going to try and make an attempt to get up early to get that going. So to try to watch that. So that's what I plan on doing. But right now we're gonna, because the release is now, come to find out that that Santos Escobar, we all thought that he was going to leave the WWE. The WWE signed him to a new contract. At this point, I don't know much about the contract and what the synopsis is of the contract. Well, we'll find out as time goes on. But I think Santos Escobar is coming back to the WWE with a brand new contract. We know Kofi Kingston re-signed with the WWE this year. Now, there have been 6 names from the WID Evolve side of things that have been released. As you know, Kylie Rae, Zeta Steel was the first one that said that she'll not renew her contract. Kylie Rae has been told that her contract of WID will not be renewed. Zara Zakir, her deal is also expired, but she will separate from wrestling for a while. Lance Anoa'i, who has not seen any TV time in either WWE or NXT, Raw, SmackDown, or NXT, has been released. Draco Knox has been released. And the most shocking one, Stevie Turner, she had a great role of being Evolve / general manager, also has been released. And remember, the Evolve episodes that we see, kind of confused. They have been taped before these releases did happen. Also, Jamar Hampton been let go as well. I think a lot of people think that and a lot of people think that, you know, the tweet about Hogan that he deleted could be a reason. I don't know, budget cuts or anything like that. All I know is that all these names, there could be more names being released. We're gonna have to stay tuned. I may have to change my thumbnails as well. I've been planning to change my thumbnails of my wrestling and also my game show thumbnails. I'm probably gonna do that to begin, probably towards the end of the year. Or I'm gonna have to work on that if I can have time. So that's one of my goals is for that. So there is that. And I did watch SmackDown earlier on the computer because they aired it earlier this morning. Not on the USA Network, obviously. I just finished watching it just in case. I usually take notes, but just in case I missed anything, I'll watch it again. I decided to watch it again if I made a mistake or something like that I don't have, paying attention to. So sometimes you get to pay attention to a lot of detail when it comes to taking notes in wrestling. I said what matches they are, who cuts promos, who cut a promo on what, you know what I mean? That type of deal. I was inspired to do this because I have a friend of mine at the mall. We always have, what happened in wrestling? What happened in wrestling? So, and I usually forget half the time. So I figured, hey, why not write it down and let it, But, all right, so I decided to do that. Cody Rhodes kicked off SmackDown addressing Seth freaking Rollins. As you know, those two gentlemen are going one-on-one again. With Cody Rhodes 3-0 against Seth Rollins in matches, and it seems like Seth Rollins is very frustrated that Cody Rhodes has gotten inside his head. At the kickoff, when Paul Heyman introduced him, he walked off set. And he walked off the stage. And it seems like, to me, that Cody Rhodes has definitely got inside the man's head. So, you gotta have a plan in order to defeat Cody Rhodes. And Chelsea Green was talking to Stephanie McCare, says she's got it, and she wants to, she wants Stephanie McCare hired as her slagent in the Secret Service. And then Tiffany Stratton interrupted her before even Stephanie McCare even said anything. So, and then Stephanie McCare says, "Well, we'll see who made the best woman win. But right now, we got to go out there and do battle against Julia and Kiana James. I'll see you out there." And Tiffany Stratton goes likewise. And then Cody Rhodes backstage, confronted by Jacob Fatu, says, "After you're done with Rollins, there's something popping off at me." And then Cody Rhodes looks at him. Good. And then Nick Aldis applauds me. That's what type of person I like. The initiative. Well, I'll talk to you in my office. And he said, "Okay, keep it 100, Nick." And then Drew McIntyre attacked him until Nick Aldis and Jason Jordan and the rest of the agents and referees decided to separate the whole thing. And Nick Aldis was upset. He said, "I'll see you in my office as well." And then the United States title open challenge, Sami Zayn. Who is he going to defend it against? None other than Shinsuke Nakamura. That's right, back with his old school theme song, nonetheless. And I thought that was pretty cool. And then the match was going pretty well until Shinsuke was about to hit Sami Zayn with another Kinshasa, and as he attempted that, a hooded figure, grabbed him and threw him out of the ring and attacked him. Referee saw that, disqualified. Nakamura ends up winning by disqualification, even though this hooded figure, I don't know who he's working for, so Nakamura won by disqualification. Title does not change hands. But then the hooded figure stepped into the ring. Sami Zayn kind of looked. It was none other than the returning Tama Tonga. And then Tala Tonga, Tonga Loa, and JC Mateo all had the face paint like when Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa had it for the Gorillas of Destiny in New Japan. They attacked Sami Zayn, and when Shinsuke Nakamura came back to the ring, they attacked him too. And then Solo Sikoa came out and just basically stood there and just said, "It's my." So the MFTs, the My Family Trees, the MFTs are back together in mass full force with a more dangerous look on the faces of those five gentlemen. So we'll see what happens there. And then Nick Aldis in the back tells Dan Engler, finds Solo Sikoa, I want to talk to him. And then McIntyre, interrupts him and then confronts McIntyre and says, "You know what? Next week at San Jose, you, Jacob Fatu, go one-on-one." And then Jacob Fatu blindsided McIntyre, and then Nick Aldis and the officials break it up as well. And it's going to be crazy, I'm telling you. Then Stephanie McCare and Tiffany Stratton took on the team of Julia and Kiana James. And Stratton and McCare did pick up the victory in that matchup. So Ruka was talking to Zarya in her homeland of Australia. Was confronted by Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and they said they accepted their challenge. So the women's tag team titles will be on the line. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow at Crown Jewel or what, but one thing's for sure. I want to try to look up Crown Jewel, see if they added any more matches, because usually they do. Let me see if they added any more matches. Besides, I'll give out the card. Alright, so here we go. Okay. So, here we go. Let's see. Nope, only the 5 matches. So, I am suspecting it'll be next week on SmackDown. Well, in San Jose, we'll find out for sure. And, so, then there is the WWE Men's Tag Team titles on the line. The Wyatt Six, the team of Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis defending against the Street Profits. Heck of a matchup. Wyatt's Nikki Cross gets involved. B-Fab fights Nikki Cross. And then the Wyatt Six retain the titles. And then here come the MFTs confronting the Wyatt Six. Unfortunately, the MFTs are up 5-3. So I don't know where Uncle Howdy is. I hope Uncle Howdy's going to be okay. If not, they're going to need a couple of partners to help them against the MFTs. So we'll see what happens there. Captain Kelly interviewed The Miz, and The Miz, was very upset that Carmelo Hayes turned against him, blah, 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 crying and all that. He says, you listen to me, and it's all like Bobby the Brain Heenan. You listen to me, you go from the top, you don't listen to me, you never heard from him again. Mello, you missed, and all that good stuff. And if I were The Miz, I wouldn't say that to Mello. Then there was the last man standing match between Damian Priest and Aleister Black. These two, Damian Priest dominated most of this matchup, beating the you-know-what out of Aleister Black, and then all of a sudden, as they were fighting among the crowd, and they're fighting near the crates and all that, surprisingly, Zelina Vega got involved, telling Priest, please stop this, and then, and as you know, if you guys don't know the history, Zelina Vega is married to Aleister Black in real life. So I think the WWE is trying to do something here. And then, while, Zelina, he tells Zelina to get out of the way. He threw a fireball, and Damian Priest hits the Black Master. He wins the matchup, and Zelina Vega kind of like smirked a little bit and walked away with Aleister Black. I'm starting to suspect that Black had a plan all along, and recruiting his wife could be a very smart move on his part. How will Damian Priest respond? Will he get Lola Vice involved? Because they are dating, Damian Priest and Lola Vice. We'll find out for sure. But right now, but also, with that fireball thrown at Damian Priest, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time a fireball was thrown on a SmackDown television. On a SmackDown episode. First time in SmackDown history a fireball has been thrown. That is something that I think, we saw Inferno matches and all, but nobody threw an actual fireball. It's an old school thing back in the day when the heels do it. Like Jim Cornette did that once, and everything else in between. So that is the shocker. That's how, Damian Priest. So hopefully Damian Priest will be okay. So are we ready for what will happen here? I'm making my picks and predictions now. For Crown Jewel, there's 5 matches on the card. Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed in an Australian street fight. The team of Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors. Last time, John Cena versus AJ Styles. Crown Jewel title for the women's side. Stephanie McCare versus Tiffany Stratton. And the men's Crown Jewel, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. I made my picks and predictions last night on Anniversary 6. I'll make these same predictions now. Australian street fight. Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. I got a feeling that Braun Breaker's going to get involved. Plus, Bronson Reed also has the home field advantage, him for him being in Australia, and I think Bronson Reed will win the matchup. Same thing with the women's tag team match between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus Kabuki Warriors. The home crowd's going to go for Rhea Ripley, and that gives her the advantage, and Sky the confidence. I picked Ripley and Sky to beat the Kabuki Warriors. Plus, there's a little bit rift going between Asuka and Kairi Sane, and that rift could end up costing them at the Kabuki Warriors as well. John Cena versus AJ Styles. I like AJ Styles, but I'm going to go with the leader of C Nation, Cena, on this one. Now, Jordan Little had believed that Tiffany Stratton was going to beat Stephanie McCare. You know what? That could make sense to keep Tiffany Stratton's streak alive, being undefeated in 2025. But I believe Stephanie McCare, with her experience and skills, I think she'll pick up the victory over Stratton and win the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. Men's Crown Jewel Championship, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Rollins was the inaugural, not Rollins, Cody Rhodes was the inaugural Crown Jewel champion. But I got a feeling that Seth Rollins is going to win this matchup. He's going to finally pick up a victory over Cody Rhodes. So, that is all the time that we have on the show, episode 2600. And very, very happy to make it here. And we're going to see if we can... Man, my ear's a little itchy. So we'll see what happens on the tomorrow morning, Crown Jewel. I'm going to try to wake up early and try to watch it. And hopefully live react to it. So, if they're planning on doing a live reaction. So... hopefully I don't, wake up early and make sure I straighten myself out and stuff. And so that's what I'm going to do. So that's it. That's all there is to it. Also tomorrow, I believe tomorrow night will be Bound for Glory. TNA Bound for Glory. I'll do a report on that as well. And AEW Collision. So 3 events will be happening tomorrow. So we'll see what happens there. So, yeah. So I will see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful day. Until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and do it for Bob Saget production and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.